Microphone checking. Microphone check. 1, 2. Ooh, it's squeaky. Squeaky. Top of the morning, everybody. Top of the morning. Let's see if I can get done what I'm hoping to get done today. Oh, I can't see chat. I gotta fix that. All right. No. Come back to me, chat. Okay. I think I have this set up correctly. God, I was fighting Discord and OBS this morning so hard. You're gonna do that every time I alt tab, huh? Okay. Well, whatever. We'll talk about some leverage today. Let's talk about some charts first. Good morning, Luke, Danielle, Aaron, Andrew Cameron, Alexandria G. Jesus saves 77. Luke Zaldania. I think I already said good morning, but good morning again. And let's see, I have a Tong Long. I didn't kill me now. I had a Tong Long trade that didn't hit its TP. Oh, that sucks. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin real quick, and then let's go take a peek at XP and maybe Toncoin and the like. So structure-wise, locally, I would say this is looking pretty interesting. There may be a short right now, or I suppose that the short is either right here. And if that does not work, then I think we are going to surpass this level, or we're at least going to hit it. And if we break it, well, we probably know how I feel about that. If we break that, I would say that there's probably a high probability we're going to get this one too. Oh, that was not an SFP. I was marking that as an SFP because I forgot I drew on the chart there. Anyways, yeah, I would say either it's going to short here to a new low. We're just kind of stuck in the middle. Or there is absolutely a possibility of it hitting here and creating a new high too. We had a little range develop here. Bing, bang, boom. Swept the low and immediately changed 1 minute market structure off of that low. So I grabbed along here. Stop loss is break even. It's Friday. I'm not too worried about it, but yeah, I really feel as though it's either going to roll over here to a new low, or this sweep of whatever of yesterday's low is indeed going to rotate us back up to the top of this range. And if it does, I'm perfectly happy with it breaking the top of the range. Yeah, and I'm perfectly happy with it SFPing the top of the range too, for that matter. I would be happy with that because I still have stuff below that I'd like to see get hit. Really do. There's this tiny little piece of demand right here that I have a moderate interest in. But like this zone down here between 112, 110, that's a back test of the prior all-time high. There's a nice section of demand inside of this. Totally don't mind going down there. Actually, I think it'd be great to go down there to get a proper back test in of the prior all-time high. I don't think would be hateful. No, I don't think it would be hateful at all. Also, I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to say this now. The current all-time high, with the way that structure has been developing, from my experience, this gives a far higher probability that when you interact with all-time high that it'll break. Gives a far higher probability of it. Same thing that we see here. And I'm willing to bet we can make more examples still. Let's go to the 4 hour. Yeah. Down 1, down 2, down 3. Oop. Yeah, we'll stop there. Unless we wanted to go back and look at older price action, right? Give me my pencil back, homie. You get the point, right? See, look at this. This is the opposite. Up, up, up. Anyways, you get the point there. I don't want to blab about that anymore. Go back to present time. Present time. Where's the button down here? Thank you. Thank you. XRP, let's go fly over there really quick because it seemed as though somebody would like to see it sooner than later. Yes, I understand your interest in it. Oh, this is XMR. XRP. Yeah, no, 100% understand your interest in it. Yeah. You swept that low. Yes. You have rotated the high of the range. Dude, just give me this thing. And you have rotated the low of the range. So yes, very interesting spot. Very interesting spot indeed. Let's drop down, take a look at our local structure. So we did get some love off of that low yesterday. Did bring us back to the high, fill the high, and down we go. Absolutely no love out of this area. I think I remember saying I didn't expect a ton from it, but that's okay. And now we're down to this low. Let's take a look at our local structure. As we rotate off that low. And yeah, I mean, it looks pretty damn good, doesn't it? Looks pretty damn good. Lose your structure here. Come back down. Fill this inefficient area here. Back up. Yeah, looks pretty good. It's interesting. I mean, obviously you're in the premium of this range right now, so longing right now with a cover of like this or this, I think is a little less than advantageous. I would personally rather see an initiation occur and a mitigation occur prior to a continuation. I would, at this point, much rather get involved here because that is, it's just, to me, that's just better. Instead of being in premium of, let me illustrate this for you. I'm sure I've explained this before, but right now we're in premium, right? Boom. Of this range. But if we were to break and then go for a mitigation, that it just gives you breathing room to a weak high. I just think that is a better and more safer way to approach it. Well, that's what I think. But yeah, I would say XRP overall looks very good here. Yeah, looks very good. I like the overall purge at this low here, this guy. And are we going to get 15? Oh, God, yeah, we get 15 minute. You already have 15-minute structure on your side. Well, okay. It's a 10-minute break. My bad. It's a 10-minute break. It's not a 15. Technically, it's not a 10, but you get the damn point. That is the highest time frame structure between here, right? So that gives a strong indication that once that structure has flipped, that it's going to want to run that high right there. And you have indeed initiated, mitigated, and look to continue, right? Yeah, that looks good. And then this should be like 1 hour market structure or so on your side. 30-minute. Should break 30-minute market structure here. We will have a 30-minute order block with imbalance right here. And so it's my only main issue is it's fucking Friday, man. We don't typically see a lot of volatility on Fridays. But this is how I would want to approach that. That is definitely how I would want to approach that. That's funny. There are some rumors about a conflict between Iran, USA, and Israel. Rumors, huh? There's some rumors about that? Yeah. It's funny. So can we say the same thing about Bitcoin? We probably say the same thing about Bitcoin too, right? Oh no, fine, don't. Okay, just keep going up. It's fine. It's fine. It's no problem with me. But I wanted to make a similar statement about Bitcoin. Let me get some of this garbage out of the way. Let's check our 15. Yeah, so you're going to return 15-minute structure to bullish above this line. We have seen a couple of false breaks interior to the range. Like in between these lows and this high right here, we've seen some false breaks on the 15 that have only set new lows. Here's one right here. Bro, get on the goddamn wick. Whatever, these lows touch. This high breaks, indicating that price should want to run this high. But false break falls to a new low. We see it again here. Break your 15, falls to a new low. Yeah. It was a bloody mess inside of that range on the 15-minute market structure. But when you get to the bottom of the range and then you break your 15-minute market structure, things have had a fairly bullish result. That's an internal break only, but fairly bullish result. So, yeah, so I don't know. I mean, like, even though I do want lower, and I am prepared to see an SFP here, I am absolutely prepared to see a break here too. We did talk about that. Cool. All right, and then we looked at XRP, and what else do we have? I swear somebody asked to look at a different coin than XRP. If you guys got other coins, oh, Ton. I just wanted to look at Ton and see what was up over there. Okay, what'd you say? My Ton long trade didn't hit its TP, which was 369. Fair? Very. God, you got rug pulled. Jesus, you got rug pulled. Price reached 3. Yeah. Oh yeah, you got fucking rug pulled, man. But all hope is not lost on Ton by any means. No, I don't think it's lost. Yeah, I don't think it's lost hope. Failure to I mean, it kind of looks like an SFP of that prior high. Let's go to the 4-hour and yeah, I mean, failure to close a 4-hour candle body above that was pretty much bound to send you down to retest some things, specifically the range that you broke up from. Right, get on the goddamn quick, man. So you have come back and back tested that range. You have not lost the structure that comes up from the low. Your 4-hour market structure point was down here in demand. Now we just have to look at the leg of price from here to here and see what happens there. Let's drop to our 5. So on our 5, we can see that we start breaking some structure here. We start back testing some stuff. We start setting a new high. We start back testing into demand. We start marching up for a new high. It is this trend here is attempting to reverse to this trend here. This price action looks weaker than Circus Lemonade to me. That looks weaker than Circus Lemonade. I don't see any significant resistance in here. Now, having said that, I am not always right. I think everybody knows this. So if you have some significant structure forming on your upwards leg here. It's nice and wide. You can see it clear as day. If you lose it prior to achieving this high, is that the high we're looking for? Yeah, that one. If you lose it prior to achieving this high, no bueno. Bad news bears. I don't see any resistance up here. I don't anticipate that to happen, but structure is the most important, right? So if you see it, yeah, I said it, right? So if you see it losing that clear as day structure that's forming, I don't think you belong in a long trade anymore. Personal opinion, not a financial advisor. But that's my personal opinion. It's my personal opinion. What else do we want to look at? You want to talk to? Oh, who knows? I don't know, bro. My fucking iPhone is my camera, so I don't know what happened to that. Oh, you know what happened? My fucking battery died, bro. My fucking battery be dead. That's what happened to the camera. All right. Let's see. It was Friday. I was really expecting just boring charts today, and I was gonna want to come on and talk about leverage and other things, but the charts are kind of hot right now. Do we keep going on the charts? We keep going there. How's this beam situation holding up? Not well. Fuck off. How's this CFX situation holding up? Not hateful. Not hateful. CFX is officially, in my perspective, found acceptance back into the range after, sweeping some shit. Yeah, I don't know. I can see potential future upside on this, but I want to surpass this zone. This is still a no thanks. I need to be up above this zone here. Okay, so nothing to talk about there. No, bro, in all honesty, Jason, I don't fucking remember what I do half the time. So let's go to XRP and see if I talked about it already. We did talk about it. So XRP has purged its range low and has returned 10-minute structure to bullish. It is currently making an effort to flip 30-minute structure bullishly, and we are hoping for a retest at $3. 3.0041 to be specific. That's where we're at on XRP. And then if you're thinking like more higher time frame stuff, so yeah, I mean here's here's a thought for you. So obviously we addressed this guy over here and put in price action above it. And we did so with this big gigantic leg of price here that comes from here all the way up, right? That's the leg of price that we managed to achieve that in. If we draw out our main flow of structure on that leg of price, it would flow as such. Bingo. That's going to drive me crazy. I have to fix it. That's going to drive me crazy. I got to fix it. So we can see that this point here on the chart is the first point in which you would break, bearishly break your upwards expansion. So far, you know, we see love out of this general demand range here. So far, we see love out of that general demand range. In other words, I guess what am I trying to say? I'm looking at this as an immediate target. I'm understanding that there's resistance that still sits above that target. So I know good and well that we still have the ability to fall further. But I also know that that we legitimately have an opportunity to return to the all-time high from this area on the chart. Yeah, I mean, I don't. There's nothing about the positioning of XRP yet that has alarmed me, and it is something that I have been looking to make an exit on, because it is the vast majority of my holdings, and I have not found, I just have not found a good enough reason to make an exit yet. I just haven't. So, will I live to regret that? I have before, but I'm still chilling on it. Soul. Okay. It's got a little bit of work to do before it can resume some bullish structure. But generally speaking, I like this. I like this. Let's draw some more structure on here. See, that's the primary range you broke up from. You had some range-based demand form. Get on the fucking way, call me. You had some range-based demand form just prior to cracking that high, and by that high, I'm referring to this high. And so generally speaking, I still like this entire area between 170 and 157 for the, now we go out and look at other structure. Bro, just get down there for me, please. As far as a higher low for a higher high goes, I do generally like this zone. I think this is the most logical zone to put in a higher low prior to a higher high. I don't see the logic of it coming in, give me something to draw with, down in this zone here. I don't see the logic down in there. I see, I just see a lot of liquidity that's probably pretty easy to sweep. Yeah, I do. Because to me, that was your last prior break, and I have to question whether that's already been back tested. I could have drawn that way better than I did. There. So then we can see, let's get this out of the way. See, I look at this as a back test of this prior breakout here. And so I go, okay, so this demand range is likely already mitigated. there's that break above there, meaning that that demand range was likely already mitigated, and I don't have a demand range below that. This is the unmitigated demand range, and it exists in a logical place. So for me, this is a little bit of a waiting game for bullish structure. What do we have, right? What do we have when we get down and we start looking in here? We have the opportunity to turn, close to 30-minute structure back to your side. You've got the evidence of a little bit of a 1, 2, 3 in the place to be coming into there. Yeah, it's generally a pretty sexy zone, I think. I think it's generally a pretty sexy zone. I'd still treat this, I'd be pretty tender-footed in here. If I were to start making entries, I'd be pretty tender-footed. I would, I'd be looking to, yeah, see, after this, I anticipate something more like this, and this is the more interesting portion for me, as always. Possibly off of something like this guy right here. This is the more interesting spot, and it's Friday, so like the chart could launch today, right? Like the chart could absolutely launch. My gut tells me, my experience tells me that to expect that on a Friday, I think is slightly unrealistic. To expect something more like this, and then, some general boringness between here and here throughout the weekend. Some general boringness. I'm totally fucking theory crafting here. Yeah, Monday's over here. And then, come market open Monday, I think it could come back for quite a bit of this liquidity before ever going up again. You know what I mean? Like, so, if it would, what's a different way for me to say this? If you are asking from the perspective of trying to plan a trade that goes back up to this high, I think you have plenty of time on your side. That's what my gut tells me. You have plenty of time on your side still. Y'all want to talk about leverage? I'm not going to force it on you. Omni Toonie Loons, what's up? I don't think I've seen that name in my chat before. Omni, don't think I've ever heard of it. Totally down to look at it though. I think the chart looks mostly terrible. Mostly. Not like all the way, but mostly terrible. What's a monthly look like? Yeah, mostly terrible. To me, that's a pretty logical place to let's do it differently. Let's go. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still think that this could be a mitigation of a prior supply range for the next lower high prior to the next lower low. Now, if you know of a chart that has data over here somewhere, that could completely change my perspective. I just see a downtrend, right? That's all I see. And so I picked the perpetual chart. Maybe we should go with Omni. Maybe we should go with like a spot chart. Maybe we'll check out like a Kraken spot chart. Yeah, that doesn't make me feel any better about my life. Let's go back to that perpetual chart on Binance. So that's monthly structure, okay? Now, if we go to weekly, if we go to weekly, I can't give it a break. I can see that these lows touch, but that is just not a candle body close for me, right? That is not a candle body close. And then we go up to the next high and you go, guess what? That's still not a candle body close, right? If we drop to the daily, I still don't have candle body closes. Yeah, I'm not, all I see here is that demand failed to bring price of the asset above that high, and that there is an inefficiency below you. And so I would suggest, I've never, I mean, obviously I've spent all of 5 minutes on this chart in my entire life. I would suggest that you may not see love again until here, but let's keep dropping. Let's go to our 4. Yeah, it's a big fat inefficiency. Doesn't change yet. I mean, if we get down to like 5-minute time frame, we do have a range right here. We do have a range. Let me get rid of some of this other stuff. That line bothers me. I'm going to delete it. Let's just remember that it was there. Yeah, so you do have a range of price between this high and this low here. And yeah, I would, yeah, this, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think I would rather, at this point, for me, I would rather short this, call that the POC if you will. I don't know why, but all of a sudden I wanted to check the accuracy of that statement. No, it's not even the POC. Yeah, I would currently rather want to short here than long it. And coming back down for a purge on this low would be the only thing I could justify a long off of locally, and that would just be trading this local range here. But obviously you have, I mean, may not be obvious to you, but for me, there's absolutely no support underneath this low. There's just zero support down here. So if you lose that low, you're quite likely coming clear back to here. Is that how it worked the last time? Yeah, pretty much, right? Pretty much. With the exception that you lost structure on this go, you clearly lost structure, and so you filled the entire inefficiency. And then you flipped bullishly. And it never back tested. And then it fucking ran, right? So I wouldn't suspect the asset to do anything necessarily different here. It could literally return right to here for a higher low. Until then, the only thing that gives me any confidence is 4.362. And I want it swept. Yeah, so let's talk about, since Danielle said, yeah, no real structure. You're right. Oh. Regarding the bullish scenario on TON, should I expect continuation of 3.7 or another pullback again? I don't know. Let's go see. Let's go take a look, and then we'll chat a little bit of leverage stuff. Okay, so the question was, should I expect continuation of 3.7? Oh. Should we expect continuation? Nah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't expect it. Now, I'm not saying that it couldn't happen, but I wouldn't expect it. What I would, for me to expect it, this low would need to take that low. If that low had taken the prior low, and we weren't just completely internal to this and this, if we weren't just totally trading internally to those, then I would say you have a far higher likelihood of breaking it. But that's just not the case. Right now, we're trading this internal range. What the fuck was that? This internal range here is what we were trading, in which it has swept the low of the range and the high is still sitting here. So is it going to sweep the high and then rotate all the way back down? I can't answer that yet. But I guess using the exact same logic I was just employing about this low, the fact that this low did get purged prior to coming up and attempting to interact with that is on your side for that to break, in my opinion. That is on your side. Let's find a chart we can talk about some leverage on. We'll use the silver chart. Let's use the silver chart. So I'm gonna ask some. We're gonna see if we can do some Q&A here. 1 point, please. What's going on Bitcoin? God, I need to pay attention more. Nothing too important. Silver. While I'm trying to do this, what's the sort of age-old rule, right? How many percent of your capital should you risk on a trade? Anybody know the answer to that one? It's not like, I mean, it's just whatever. Anybody have an answer to that question? If you have your portfolio and your futures trading account, how much of it should you risk on a trade? There's probably a few different answers out there, but I'm just curious to see what you guys say. One percent, cool. All right, 1%. That's where I'm at. 1 to 2%. Yeah, there we go. That's what I figured. Normally start with 10 and then try to add according to the situation. 10%, huh? Okay. I'm a like a 1, maybe 2% guy. Okay, so let's say let's use some simple numbers here. Let's say you have a portfolio of $1,000. And so we know that 1% of that is going to be, what's that, $10, right? Should be about $10. Yeah. So my question for you is, if you were taking a trade from here to here, right, to this guy, let's put our little target symbol on him, and you are entering inside of discount, and you are trading to that right there. So you've got your 1, 2, 3 R trade, right? Would you use the same margin on this trade from here to here as you would on this trade from here to here. Both are 3R trades. Oh, my circles got all messed up. Would you use the same leverage? Or I'm sorry, would you use the same margin? So if we said that, you know, 1% of $1,000 there is $10, would your margin be $10 on both of these trades? Jason, let's assume that you were just as confident about both of these trades. You go from 1 to 3. So you would increase. Are you saying that on this one you would only risk 1% of your capital, and on this one you would risk 3% of your capital? And then the follow-up question is, so if you're in the camp where you're like, no, I would not use the same amount of margin for this trade as I would for this trade. I would use a different amount of margin for this trade, and I would use a different amount of margin for this trade. My question to you is, how do you calculate that? And let's let me delete some stuff here. Oh, nobody's given me a how would you if you would use different leverage on these two trades, how would you, or sorry, not leverage, we haven't even talked about leverage yet. If you would use different margin on these, how would you calculate that margin? It should depend upon entry, yeah. So you know, we've got an entry on this one of 40.6 and a stop loss of 40.2. We've got an entry on this one of 41.7 and a stop loss of 40.2. No, I don't know if I would I don't know if I would just drag the slider. I use a calculator for this, guys. I use a calculator for this. That's what I do. So let's say we're making our entry at 406528. 406528. And our stop loss is 402955. And our portfolio size is, what did we decide here? $1,000? Is that what we decided? $1,000, right? $1,000. So I use a calculator. I use a calculator to define position size and required margin. That's what I do. And so the required margin for this has got a, let me adjust this here, because this is the real point I'm trying to make. I'm going to adjust the stop loss on this just for the sake of the argument here to 405424. And we're going to set the leverage to 1. And we're going to risk 1%. Now, in the situation of this, it's like, okay, well, you have to have 3,000, you have to have 3,600 in margin to execute this trade right here. It's going to require $3,600 in margin. Oh, we don't got that. We don't got that. So this trade requires a minimum amount of leverage. Requires a minimum amount of leverage. Minimum, it's going to require 4x leverage in order to risk 1% of your portfolio. If you don't have at least 4x leverage on this, you are not going to be able to risk 1%. If you're a 2% risk taker, then you still don't have enough margin to execute this trade. You're going to need to be at 8x margin in order to execute this trade. And if you don't want to put your entire portfolio on the trade, then you're going to need to crank that leverage up, right? You get the leverage up to 20x, and now you're only going to be required to put 368 in margin on the trade. Whereas this trade over here, let's go with this one, 402955. And I'm going to adjust entry price to 41762. Now, on that trade there, you do not have a minimum leverage requirement. You could trade that on 1x, would be the same as trading it on 30x. The only difference is if you traded on 30x, you would be putting in $18. If you traded it on 1x, you'd be putting in $569. Yeah, you can get this calculator. It's no problem. I'll throw it in Discord for you. This here is the idea of compounding compounding your account, right? So that every time you make a trade, right? So you go in your short tool or your long tool and you say my account size is 1,000 and my risk percent is 1. And so on a 3R trade, I should be making right about that $300. I'm sorry, yeah, that $30 right there. So if this trade hits my target, my portfolio should go to $1,030, up from $1,000. And then I make my next trade. We'll just say we rim seed up out of here. We're not shorting. We'll just say we rim seed up out of here. And we're catching the second leg, and now the portfolio amount is 1,030, and we're going for another 3R trade. Let's see if we can actually get this to work. It's pretty close. I was pretty close, wasn't I? And now our portfolio is 1,061. Right. So to me, unless you're using it, unless you're using a calculator, I don't know how you people do it. I don't know how you people do it. You use the exchange calculation. You know what? I've never used the exchange calculator. I've never used it. I used to have a spreadsheet I used for a long time, and then and then I just had I just wanted my own calculator, so built this one out. And yeah, I don't know. This is just what I use now, and I like it. To me, this is yeah. This to me is how do I want to say this? Um, yeah, to me, this is like it's such an important tool to be using. Um, you'd have the best TA in the world and make a lot of entries, but if you don't manage margin and risk and reward properly, um, I think it can really cause damage to your portfolio. So I just thanks for listening to me blab. I just wanted to talk about leverage for a moment, and so like if say you took this trade on 83x leverage, right? It's like, okay, so it only takes $6.86 to execute that trade. It's just, I think the main reason I'm saying this is because when you see the P&L tiles, I hate P&L tiles. I hate them. I hate them because that whole percentage gained and margin used, they're both the most irrelevant. They should be the most irrelevant numbers possible. The only relevant number should be this number right here. That's the only relevant number. What happened to your portfolio, not the margin on your trade. Personal opinion. So thanks for listening to me yap about that. And yeah, I'll pop this into Discord later today and tag everybody on it. Cool. Let's go back to what are we doing over here? What are we doing on time? I am kind of officially sort of at my daily time limit. So in the event that anybody has any other questions, now would be a great time. Dude, the way I have this setup running today is driving me effing insane. Getting YouTube chat up and TradingView up at the same time has been a task. Yeah. Anybody have something they wanna look at? See that makes for the concept of the back test on XRP. This may have been all that you get because now you have further structure. Now you have further structure. So now you have to break structure to get down further into demand, meaning you really got to re-break it back to bullishly coming out of demand. So I don't know, just fucking thinking out loud. That's all I'm doing. If time allows, let's do ETH. Position size is the important factor. Yes. I'm going to Air. Last name Air. I want to attempt the first name. It is the important factor. I like the way he said it. Or she said it, for that matter. And we're going to take a peek at ETH. ETH. What is happening over on the old ETH chart? Well, looks like the stop loss I suggested wasn't quite sufficient. Boy, that's an odd move. That's an odd move. All right. Let's see here. Actually, wait a minute. Oh God, it's so close. So close. Man, as far as target one goes, dang, it's close on that idea. All right. Anyways, stop yapping about that. I don't particularly. I'll double check, but I don't think I really like the idea of forming a low here. I don't. No, I don't. Let's see. Oh, 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 oh. Magnet, where'd you go? Magnet, get back on me. You know, that's not gonna fucking work. Trying to see if I can change my mind about where this low is looking like it is attempting to form. No, I still don't like it. Bump up time frames, go up one. No. No. See, I can see that the break was really here, but that already got tagged. No, I don't particularly love this place for a like a real low to form. Um, it just is not. It's just not in a super logical place now. Could happen regardless, but it's just not in a really logical place for me. What do we have? So we flipped like a 1 minute structure, same thing as Bitcoin did, came up, hit where you like lost 1 minute structure. Okay, let's take a closer look at this because we're trading some pretty small time frames here. So that's your loss and your back test. And it's like you get the one on your side here, but you lose it again here, which means I should have taken profit on my Bitcoin trade and was too busy yapping with you guys, whatever. I mean, you do have unmitigated demand down at the low. But yeah, I think you really I think you really need to see a structure transition coming out of here. I think you really need to see a clear structure transition coming out of there. Because the spot that I want more is down further. Yeah, I want down in this region. Yep, that's what I want. I think you could watch even this local low here, because now that I'm looking at it, I forgot that it had formed another high. For the people who are still long from down yonder, I think both of these are really logical places for them to have their stop losses still. So I'd still look to both of those lows. But I think I'd like a little bit lower on that. Yeah, I really would. This doesn't look. This really doesn't look the same as ETH. But I don't think I did. I don't think I did you any good on ETH. Here's what I'm going to say about ETH. Let's put a ray on it. So if you can get above 3671, make an initiation up there. Close. Didn't get on the damn wick. 3673. I think if you can make an initiation above that, then yeah, then I think you can really start to crank this thing up a bit. There's a little bit of resistance along the way, but not a lot of it. I'm not even so convinced about this area. But if I were to give targets for a break of this, back test and run, yeah, I would give these 3 targets. It's not, yeah, yeah. Though you gotta, you always have to watch this. So it's almost like 4 targets, which I think is too many targets for that. But no, ETH is never logical, Luke. You're right. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it with the passion of 1,000 burning suns. Don't like it. All right. So I have overstayed my welcome. You have entertained me and listened to me blab about leverage. Huh? What do we? Wait. That's CVX. I was like, what in the hell is happening on this chart? I was so confused. I thought I was looking at this chart. I was like, what in the fucking world? So weird. My phone just turned back on to tell me that it has 1% battery. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Hey, no problem. Sui, yeah, sorry. I almost missed that. That's probably a good one to look at. Yeah, structure so far is looking really good coming off of this low. I think the last time I was looking at this, we were hoping for mitigation of supply to a mitigation in demand to a break again. Supply remained in control. Get rid of all that crap. Let's get rid of that line. I think that's just annoying. Wait, hold on. I gotta recheck the 15. Eesh. I feel much more confident with the break of this. Technically speaking, I hate when I have to question it. And unfortunately, this is a questionable break. Yeah, it's a super questionable break. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, it's like you have the 2 up candles here. You don't have the 2 down candles. You don't have a body. You don't have a candle body. You don't have a candle body. You don't have a candle body. You have a candle body, but it's still a wick of the prior high. This is not a confident return to 15-minute structure, in my opinion. It's not a. This is a far more confident return to bullish structure up here. But you failed the low. This is the high that created this low. So the move of the SFP is already done. I mean, you have like a bit of demand back down here still. I'm not so confident about that. I think there is still implied weakness on the low at 3.4137. Let's get back up to the 4. No, I'd pay attention. It just sucks because it's Friday, right? It sucks because it's Friday. So here's the problem with Sui. You have a failure to clear this high, implying that there could be weakness all the way back down to that low. So in the event that we have implied weakness all the way back down to the end to the low of the larger range at play, then we need to pay close attention to the primary structure that flows up from this low. So this uptrend here breaks its 4-hour market structure here, right? That's when this uptrend quite honestly reverses to a downtrend, and that's when this signal starts to look a lot more like that, right? So because of that, I think this is the spot you should be bullish. Because we have to actually break this goddamn low for any of that other stuff to be true. And if this is a strong low. This is a strong low right here on the 4-hour time frame. This is still a weak high on the 4-hour time frame. So yeah, I think it's very logical to pay attention to your structure down here. Get your alerts rolling. I think this is a really logical place to pay attention, and I'm saying that because I think that there's the possibility to rotate this entire range, right? And you're in as discounted as you can get right now, and I'm sure that's quite the climb back up to the range high. So yeah, I'd pay super close attention here. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, oh, let me go back. I hit the space bar. It's like after a failure up here, you get a couple things. You get your 1, 2, 3 model 1 distribution. The target of this was this. So that's target achieved. Yeah, so in other words, this here, this is already, it's already done its job, right? It's already done its job. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. Brought it right back down to the strong low. So yeah, I mean, it's time to pay attention. In the same way that you had, it's a little bit more scrunched up in the bottom than it was on the top, but the same way you had 1, 2, 3, I'm not going any higher. I'm not fucking going any higher. Leave me alone. You have the early evidence of the same thing here. 1, I'm not going any lower. Fuck, I really don't want to go any lower. God damn it, I said I don't want to go any lower. You have the early sign of that as well at the bottom. So yeah, it's a very logical place to start monitoring structure. I don't know, whip out all the tools in your toolkit, because this low may very well hold, and if it holds, I think you really start targeting as high as there. I mean, are there stops in between? Yeah, there's stops in between. Actually, actually, I'm going to say there's stops in between. We'll just put it that way. But yeah, I think it's a super logical place to look. Lucky Deal pops in and wants Tau and Link. Let's see what I can do. Hold on. Let me check my calendar. Let me check my calendar. Fuck it. We'll risk it. We're not going to check the calendar. Tau. Okay, so Tau is you said Tau, right? Yeah, Tau. Fuck off. Tau's getting into the area that that we should be interested in. Yep, it's getting in the area we should be interested in. So, you know, we made the rotation from, let's get yeah, we have made the rotation from here up to this high. We lost our, like, I don't know, 4 hour structure. We've gone back down into the prior range. I think this range has the ability to at least bring you back to the prior range. Just quick T8, right? I don't know if it's particularly printed any structure that makes me confident of an entry at this time. It's attempting to. I'd really prefer to see it above this high right here at 357. And then I would be targeting, yeah, I think 363 is a logical place to pull. Let's get some of this shit off the chart. Actually, that's what I wanted to leave on the chart. I want this off the chart, and I want this off the chart. Fine. Fine. Don't work. Where are some of the local targets I would have? I'd have this as a local target. I would have this as a local target. And I would have this as a local target. And yeah, I mean, there's plenty of shit to target on this chart. Lots of targets on this chart. Yeah, lots of targets. Let's get back out to the 4. Slightly problematic here. Yeah, I think you could entertain a short out of that zone as well, and then Link. Linky Poo, where you at, buddy? All right, so Link has this was my primary area of interest when price was here. And so that has already been hit. Yeah, gonna hit down there. Okay, cool. Let's get some of this stuff off the chart, and that did take out the targeted high. Yeah, Link is oh God, Link's in bath mode right now. Is there another relevant high up there that it took? Should this okay, so 4 hour structure reads bearish, but we need to pay attention to the higher time frames. We need to pay attention to the higher time frames. So in our higher time frame, we have break of daily structure, initiation, deep mitigation, continuation, break, initiation, mitigation. Good Lord, are we going to come all the way back down to there? Yeah, see, primary structure up from the low has already failed. Let me just double check this. No, there's just no way around it. Last 4-hour market structure. Are we inside a deviation? Okay, so that was boom. We got a new adjusted range low here. Okay, magnet go away. Okay, what's going on in here? You cheeky little fucking devil, you. Okay, okay, okay. So we lost this point, but we have not lost this point. And there was a order block hiding in here. So like with anything, I'd prefer to see a clear return to bullish market structure, followed by a back test for a run up. I'd like to see it. I don't want to have to guess. I don't want to have to guess. Your structure locally is not bullish yet. It does not flip to bullish until you break that high. You have an SFP of the low indicating weakness on the high, but we still have a question mark as to whether or not this high will break or whether it will also SFP and take you back to the low. So, yeah, there's some unanswered questions on Link still. But overall, let me go back out to that daily. I still suggest that there is easily the possibility of this being a range, an initiation, and a mitigation prior to continuation. And yeah, so I would, yeah, I'd watch your 15 to 30-minute market structure on this leg and see if it will flip bullish. I think that could be interesting. Yeah, and then if you're talking more like spot kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, not hateful. If you want to shoot for like much higher targets, that's one right there. I've grossly overstayed my welcome. I've killed my phone battery to 0. I have no clue what's going on in the rest of the world right now. I'm flying in the dark. I'm going to leave. Holy shit, I have 10 text messages. Yeah, I got to go. I got to go, guys, but I had fun. Thanks for joining me.